Hey there, Internet. My name's Luxander, and today we're going to be talking about Androgel, which is a different method of delivery for testosterone than what is typically assigned, which is shots. Most of the time, when someone gets a prescription for testosterone, that prescription comes in the form of an injectable liquid, which you would inject either subcutaneously or intramuscular. Subcutaneous means under the skin, intramuscular means into the muscle. The injection is generally considered to be the most effective method. It's a, very effective direct method of delivery, and that is typically preferred. But for people who would have difficulty doing their shots because they have a needle phobia, or they just get really anxious about it, or they don't have someone who can help them, Androgel, or Testogel as it's called in other countries, can be a viable option. I will say for myself that I am still waiting on the lab results from my most recent labs, so right this second as I'm recording, I can't tell you what my levels are on this dose of Androgel. I think it's probably best to let you and your doctor figure out what dose is going to be right for you, because people's bodies respond to testosterone differently. On a very low dose of testosterone, I can have normal cis male range levels of testosterone because my body really likes tea, apparently. I'm not going to get too much into dosing. That's something that you will have to figure out with your doctor. Some doctors will say that gel is a less effective method of delivery, but ultimately what it comes down to is what is going to work for your body and your life, and as long as your levels are where you need them to be, that is what is important. I wanted to actually show you what the container looks like, what the gel looks like, and how you apply it, so please enjoy this footage from my phone. Androgel can come in either this bottle with a pump actuator or in packets with a pre-measured dose of the gel inside. It's pretty easy to use. You just pop off the protective lid and press down on the pump actuator. I try to use the same amount of pressure for both pumps to try to make sure that it dispenses the same amount of liquid for both. It's a really thin, loose alcohol-based liquid. You want to put it on pretty much immediately because it will start to evaporate. Different types of testosterone gel have different instructions for where you're meant to put it. My doctor instructed me to put this gel on either my upper arms or my abdomen. You mainly want it to be a nice even coating so that it will dry very quickly. I always try to get the extra out from between my fingers so that I don't waste anything. Once you've got your thin coat on, you do want to wash your hands pretty much immediately. You don't want to touch any person or animal or object which could transfer the gel onto someone. When you're done washing your hands, you just wait a couple minutes for the gel to dry. You can let it dry by air or you can blow on it. I usually like to blow on it, at least so that I can tell when it's dry. If it's not cold when you blow on it, then you know it's dry. And then once it's all set up, you can put on your shirt that you're gonna wear for the rest of the day to protect this area from being licked by animals or possibly having other contact transfer. As you can see, it's a really easy process. You do have to do this daily. You're meant to put on the gel in the morning, and you do have to do it every day, which I understand some people will think is very inconvenient. For me, the trade-off between all of the mental effort that goes into preparing myself to do an injection is it's much easier to just have this daily application. This is definitely not a medicine that you want to be exposed to your animals. If you have a very licky animal, then you will probably want to, if you use gel, put it in a place where nobody's going to be able to get to it. If you're wearing a t-shirt that day, try to keep it above the line there, or if your medicine, again, can be put on your abdomen, that can be a good option. Just put it on your belly where it's going to be under a shirt and animals are not going to get to it. Additionally, the reason that it's important to prevent transfer to other people is that, for example, if you know a woman who does not want to have extra testosterone in her body and she gets the gel on her, it will absorb into her body the same way that it would absorb into yours when you're deliberately putting it on there, and it can cause the kind of things that testosterone does, which generally women don't want. I will also note that Androgel, Testogel tends to be very expensive compared to the typical depot testosterone or whatever liquid testosterone you would get. From a transition standpoint, having not gotten my lab results as of this moment, I will just say that I have not noticed a substantial difference between Androgel and injectable testosterone as far as the masculinizing effects on the body. I have continued to have new facial hair growth while on Androgel. Hair growth is mostly just dependent on the duration of time that you've been exposed to testosterone as well as your genetics. I haven't noticed any issues with hormonal fluctuations, which I would normally experience if I wasn't on T. So without knowing what my specific blood level of testosterone is, I can confidently say that there is a masculinizing effect that is happening. So while generally the injection is considered to be the most effective method, you could absolutely do Androgel and have it be an effective form of taking testosterone. Hey, sorry for more phone footage, but I actually talked to my doctor because I got my lab results back, and I found out for the first time what my testosterone levels are while I'm on the dose of Androgel that I have been on, and it turns out that apparently I am so thoroughly capable of processing testosterone administered topically that my testosterone level is actually dangerously high at the moment. Like, it's way out there. This is a super anomalous situation that my doctor has not experienced before. I'm including it here because I want people who are concerned that gel might be less effective than shots. I want you to know that it really depends on your body and your body chemistry and how you're going to break down those materials. Like I said, I am on a normal, like, this should be a typical dose of Androgel, and my levels are like more than double what they should be. Like, my doctor was kind of freaked out. And I'm also including this here because I switched methods from doing shots to doing gel, and the doctor that I was seeing for that she was not concerned about having my levels checked within 1 month. Typically, when you're just starting, or like when my current doctor first put me on shots, it was, we're gonna check in 1 month. In 1 month from this starting point, we're gonna check. And then once you're like stable, we will see like maybe every 3 months, and like maybe eventually you only have to get it checked every 6 months, right? But that's like once you're stable. Like, my other doctor started me on a new method of testosterone, had no idea how I was going to metabolize it, and my levels have been dangerously high for 3 months. And because she was like, yeah, just come back in 3 months. And during that time, I decided to go back to my other doctor because I feel better with him, and he's great. But yeah, if you're switching methods or starting a new method, like starting on hormones for the first time, you do want to get checked maybe within a month or two. Again, it's impossible to tell what you're going to process it as. Like, when I was on shots, I was on an incredibly low dose, even on the shots, and my levels were within the target range that we were going for, right? So you have to have a doctor who you trust, who's gonna like listen to your concerns. Like, if I had been seeing my current doctor when I was put on gel, he probably would have checked after a month, and we would have been like, this is a bad idea. This is not working. This is not good. Anyway, I have no idea where this clip is gonna fit into the video, and again, I apologize for shaky phone cam. I just wanted to add this while I was thinking about it and didn't want to set up everything formally. Okay, bye. Because of the fact that Androgel tends to be extremely expensive, like very, very expensive, a lot of people don't consider it as an option. So I do want to discuss perhaps some ways in which you could get a hold of Androgel for less than the full price, whether or not you have insurance. Obviously, if you have insurance, that is going to be the probably first line you want to go to. And if you're having difficulty getting your insurance to cover it because it's a less effective method, because it's a not necessary method when this cheaper alternative exists, you can speak to your doctor and have them effectively say, this is medically necessary. My patient is not able to administer an injection to themselves, so it is medically necessary to have this alternate method covered by your insurance. I can't make any guarantees, and insurance in the United States is a ridiculous system that I don't understand, and I don't think anybody's meant to. And also, just an obvious side note, I'm an American and I don't know how the healthcare system works anywhere else, so my advice is going to be limited to the United States. Another option, particularly if you don't have insurance, is the app GoodRx. If you fill your prescription at like a major store, if you fill your prescription at Costco or Walgreens or something like that, they work with this program GoodRx, which basically is like a coupon for your prescription, and you can find coupons for all kinds of prescriptions on there. You just have to know what the medication is and what the dose is, and like how often you're supposed to take it and everything, and you plug that information into the app. And I think one of the lowest prices I saw for Androgel, which is usually like hundreds of dollars, through GoodRx was about $60, which again is not cheap, especially compared to the injection. But if you are going to be non-compliant with your shots, like if you're going to be consistently late with your shots and end up with more turmoil and medical issues because of that, then the Androgel may be worth the additional expense. I will share this other thing with you that I don't know if it will be widely applicable even within the United States, so take that for what you will. The reason why I was able to be on Androgel, despite the fact that it's very expensive, is that I was getting my care through a community health center. The community health center had a deal or agreement of some kind with Walgreens where basically all of the prescriptions for uninsured or underinsured patients would be less expensive. The Walgreens person explained to me, like, they were actually using the community health place as the insurance effectively, and it knocked the price down to where I was only paying about $16 a month. I don't know, again, if that's something that's widely applicable. If you are trans, you are likely underemployed or unemployed, and a sliding scale community health clinic may be an accessible option for you. I don't think I have a whole lot else to add here. I just wanted to give you the general idea that this is what gel is like, this is how you use it, this is how it's been effective for me. Of course, if you do have any additional questions, if there's anything I missed, you can ask them in the comments below, and I will be happy to answer those questions and give you whatever information I have access to. That will be all for me today, though. If you like this video, please give me pretty analytics to look at and comments to read. You can subscribe to this channel or ring the bell. You could also do PayPal or Patreon if you want to, and I hope you have an okay day. Bye. Thank you so much to my April patrons for all of your support. I really appreciate you, especially Sean, Eris, R. Halverson, Annalise Friend, Michelle Winter, Frozen Summers, Sarah A., Suzanne Maynard, Wellington Marcus, Mayor Treebeard, Amanda B., Athiet, Elizabeth Bartell, Jonathan Armstrong, and Mr. Atheist.